What mistakes has WWE been making for years? I won't talk about what TKO is doing now, because if I were to talk about it, I would need 100 hours to list all the catastrophic mistakes they are making, and that I am against what they are doing, and this is well known. But I will talk about the mistakes in general over longer periods. The first mistake was including a women's division in the shows. I'm not a fan of the women's division, but I admit they have an audience, so there should be separate women's and men's shows. However, WWE itself knows that the female audience isn't large. It's true they've held women's shows and achieved some success, but if they were weekly shows, they would be a complete failure. I think that's their perspective, and it's the most logical explanation, but what's best for the viewers is having separate shows for women and men. That's the best approach. Second mistake is advertising during the weekly matches. This is one of the biggest mistakes that makes the weekly shows lower in quality than the monthly ones. The weekly shows are the foundation and the main driver of the shows and rivalries. There should be no commercial breaks during the shows. The third mistake is excessive entertainment. Many entertainment shows become overly entertaining and lose their appeal, causing viewers to tire of them. There should be entertainment, but within limits, not in the form of clowning around or including time wasters that serve no purpose, such as mere rivalries. This kind of content simply fills the time and makes viewers lose interest in weekly shows compared to monthly ones. Fourth mistake is the absence of world champions. For years, WWE had world champions who were part-timers, and this is a huge mistake. Part-timers should never win titles, but WWE erred in this decision. The face of the company, its most important wrestler, is not present on the show. This is a disaster. There should be one or two part-timers, and they shouldn't win titles, like Brock Lesnar when he returned in 2012-2013. He was a part-timer without a title, and he was the only part-timer, so it made sense to deal with him. But now, the entire face of the company is a part-timer at various stages, like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. If you want to promote your weekly shows, you must have your most important wrestler present. The fifth mistake is the excessive repetition of matches. You find the same match repeated hundreds of times, and this weakens the enjoyment, even if the match is excellent. Its frequency diminishes its value. There should be variety. Although the roster is huge and they can create different matches, a company that continues with the same type of matches without any change will naturally weaken viewership and reduce excitement. Even a match with high performance ratings will suffer because performance isn't everything. If there's no story and simulation of the match, it has no value. Sixth mistake is having matches without storylines in weekly shows. Having matches without storylines will cause viewers to lose interest. Story is an integral part of wrestling, and match simulation is an integral part of wrestling. Many companies are being lenient with storylines, but this will undoubtedly affect them. Seventh mistake, the show's duration. Weekly shows are sometimes 3 hours long, which is a huge mistake. This ruins the show. 2 hours is the optimal time, with balanced advertising, proper match scheduling, and storylines. This creates the best show, but the greed for extra time diminishes the excitement. Long shows should be exceptional, reserved for monthly events like WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Some shows have exceptions, but most shows, especially weekly ones, should be only 2 hours long.